Investors should brace for another astronomical initial jobless claims number tomorrow when the Labor Department releases data for the past week. The consensus is 5 million people applying for benefits. And remember, that's on top of the 6.6 million last week and the more than 3 million the week before. And all of this is stressing state unemployment funds to the max, some more than others. Scott Cohn joins us live with that story. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Rahel. Basically, the way this works is every state keeps its unemployment insurance trust fund in an account with the Treasury Department, and it's up to the states to keep that account funded such that it can handle a recession. Well, even going into this, a number of states were on the brink of insolvency. We know this because just in February, just before everything blew up, the Labor Department came out with its latest report on the status of these funds, and it is not pretty. Take a look. 22 states, nearly half, fell below the federal standard for solvency, which essentially is the ability to pay benefits in a typical recessionary year. Each of the states in yellow there has less than a year's worth of benefits in reserve. And in a handful of states, it's even worse. Each of the states in red has less than 6 months. And these include some of the biggest states, 6 months or so in Connecticut, 5 in Illinois, Massachusetts, and Ohio, 4 months in New York and Texas, and about 10 weeks here in California. Again, that's based on an average recession. Christopher O'Leary, who's an economist with the Upjohn Institute, tells me he expects that all but a handful of states will exhaust their reserves entirely the way things are going if we continue at this pace. And that's even after the federal stimulus, which basically has the feds paying for the expansion of unemployment benefits and also makes it easier for states to borrow from the Treasury. So this is one of those situations, guys, that is going to live beyond this pandemic. It's a big deal for the states.
So, Scott, what happens as these states start to run through those reserves? I'm talking to a lot of workers across the country who are wondering why their applications aren't being processed quickly. Of course, officials want to maintain the integrity of the program, but is part of the answer that they also don't have a lot to begin with? I mean, what happens now?
Well, what will happen is that the states will have to borrow, and that's been the case. That's been going on for a while. And again, all of these numbers that I quoted you are based on the standard, which is being able to pay benefits for the average of the 3 worst years of the last 20 years. This year is something clearly different entirely if things continue to go at this pace. So all of the states will have to do something in terms of borrowing, likely from the Treasury, but it's going to put a huge strain on state and federal finances.